the song of our lament. We grieve a dry and broken land. Hearts have turned from your intent, and earth is ravished by our hand. Oceans weep for beauty lost, and forests plead for your return. Fields are drenched in tears and blood. All nature groans beneath sin's curse.
Hello and welcome to day 3 in our series exploring the stories of individuals in the suffering church worldwide. As Pastor Barnabas walks through the camp where he lives, he points out the makeshift tents in every direction. There are hundreds of them, with people huddled inside seeking refuge from the sun. These are the women, men and children he pastors. Thousands of people live here, an informal camp for internally displaced people in Benue State, northern Nigeria. Each and every one you are seeing here, we are all Christians, says Pastor Barnabas. We are displaced because of violence. You can see the compassion register on his face as he talks, but there is something else too, an authority that comes from a righteous anger that he and his church family have ended up in a camp like this. Millions of Christians are displaced here in Nigeria, says Pastor Barnabas. Millions of Christians are displaced in Africa. The news doesn't care about it, politicians don't talk about it, governments don't talk about it, global politics don't talk about it, nobody talks about it. Pastor Barnabas gets to his tent and stoops down to show it, even though he, his wife Joy and their family have lived in the camp for almost 5 years. Their home is made of whatever materials were available, mostly palm leaves and mosquito nets. It's smaller than a double mattress, Pastor Barnabas says. It's far too small for a large family of 8. The IDP camp is a terrible place to live, says Pastor Barnabas bluntly. We don't have good hygiene, we don't have water, we don't have toilets, many people are dying. Only last week, as I am talking, we lost 8 people in this IDP camp. People wouldn't live in a camp like this if they had any other choice. They only live here because it's too dangerous outside the camps, because of the horrendous persecution that has displaced them. Open Doors research suggests that last year and for many years, more Christians were killed for their faith in Nigeria than the rest of the world combined. The same violent persecution is quickly spreading across other parts of sub-Saharan Africa as Islamic extremist ideology spreads. As well as these murders, huge numbers of believers are injured, abducted, sexually assaulted or forced to flee from their homes. Pastor Barnabas can easily empathise with the people in the camp who have faced this violence. He's been through exactly the same experience himself. I was on the farm with my brother Evren and his wife Friday, he remembers. We heard shooting, we saw people running in different directions, we didn't know what was happening. The community was being attacked by Fulani militants, a group of Islamic extremists who are responsible for many of the violent attacks in north-central and central Nigeria. Pastor Barnabas and his family tried to run, but Evren and Friday didn't manage to escape. My brother was shot by the militants and my brother's wife was also shot, and then macheted and killed by the militants, he says. It's been almost 5 years. But the pain of loss is still raw. This man tried to attack Pastor Barnabas with a machete, but accidentally dropped it. He proceeded to remove his stick and hit me on my hand, and my hand was badly broken. Years later, he is still affected by these injuries every day. The attack caused long-term damage, and while he managed to gather enough money to pay for initial surgery, he can't afford to have the metal in his hand removed. Without that second operation, he can't use his hand properly. It's a daily reminder of the horror he experienced at the hands of the militants. In this camp, many people are affected, many are injured, many are killed or their loved ones have been killed. He says, this affected not only my family, not only in the particular IDP camp I'm living, but there are millions of Nigerians that are being displaced. And it is not only in Nigeria these things are happening, they are happening in the whole of Africa. The effects of this persecution are long-lasting. As well as the terrible loss of life, it removes any means of getting an income or future opportunities for the children of affected believers. It threatens the future of the church. Now I have lost everything that I had. Everything in my home and village was burned, says Pastor Barnabas. I cannot take care of my children. I cannot feed them. Most of the men go looking for work to do in order to get daily food, yet it will not be enough for one meal. Pastor Barnabas is desperate to help believers in his camp. I don't have anything to give them, he says. We can only pray together and share the word of God together. How can you preach to someone who is hungry and tell them that God will provide when you cannot take a step to help them? How will they be encouraged? Speaking of the work of Open Doors and their local partners in the area, he says, we have been starving. If not for the help of your ministry, I don't think it would be easy for us to live. Today's reading is from Psalm 13. How long, Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I wrestle with my thoughts, and day after day have sorrow in my heart? How long will my enemy triumph over me? Look on me and answer, Lord, my God. If you've been in any way inspired or encouraged or challenged by the stories that we're sharing this week, please do look at the work of Open Doors, Christian Solidarity Worldwide and Release International. They're amazing organisations doing amazing work to support people in the midst of incredibly difficult situations.
Lead us in your Eden call to live as those who bear your name. Show us how to love your world until the day you come again. Have mercy, have mercy, have mercy on us, Lord. Renew us, restore us, have mercy on us, Lord.